Hello students, welcome back to the biology classes. Dear students, today we are going to start our new chapter, that is molecular basis of inheritance. Dear students, as we all know that nucleic acids or DNA or RNA are the genetic material which are present in different cells of an organism and control the activity of a cell. Dear students, in most of organisms, either it is prokaryote or it is eukaryote, it has DNA as a genetic material, whereas in some viruses genetic material is RNA. Okay, the RNA act as genetic material in only some viruses, and in prokaryote and eukaryote, RNA mostly function as a messenger which transfers genetic information from the nucleus to the ribosomes, where by using genetic code, by using the information which is encrypted in the genetic codes present in them, they synthesize proteins. Okay, so here in prokaryote or eukaryote, RNA only act as the messenger which carry genetic information from the nucleus to the cytoplasm, and this genetic information is used to synthesize proteins. Okay. Dear students, when we see the structure of genetic material, we say that the new DNA or RNA. Okay, actually DNA or RNA are made up of polynucleotide chain, and these polynucleotide chains are made up of nucleotide. Okay, so actually the polymers of DNA and RNA are the polymer of the nucleotide, so that's why we can also call them polynucleotides. Dear students, nucleotide has three components. One is nitrogenous base, second is pentose sugar, and remember one thing, the pentose sugar, ribose is present in RNA, whereas the deoxyribose pentose sugar is present in DNA. Okay, and third component is phosphate group. Dear students, first we talk about the nitrogenous base. Dear students, there are two type of nitrogenous base mainly present in the DNA or RNA. They are, first is purine and second is pyrimidine. Dear students, purines are of two type, adenine and guanine, whereas the pyrimidines are of three type, cytosine, thymine or uracil. Dear students, remember one thing, uracil is present only in RNA, whereas thymine is present only in DNA. Dear students, uracil is absent in DNA. Okay, so ultimately DNA has only four type of nitrogenous base, that are adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. Or when we talk about the RNA, it also have four type of nucleotide, adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil, because thymine absent in RNA. So ultimately when we talk about the nitrogenous base, there are four type of nitrogenous base present in RNA or DNA. Okay, so here when we see the structure of the polynucleotide chain, okay, so it has nitrogenous base, then pentose sugar. Dear students, pentose sugar may be is ribose. Actually, the pentose sugar which is present in DNA or RNA is ribose in case of RNA, whereas deoxyribose in case of DNA. Okay, what is the main difference between ribose and deoxyribose? Here the question arises. See, this is the structure of a ribose sugar. Okay, here it has actually 5 carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4, carbon number 5. Okay, here it has OH group, H, we have to complete its valency, OH, H, okay, OH, sorry, here this is H, okay, OH, H and CH2OH. Dear students, here when we see the carbon number 2, dear students, this is the structure of ribose sugar, but when we talk about the deoxyribose sugar, at the second position, carbon of the second position can only have hydrogen group. In place of alcoholic group OH, it has only hydrogen, so it is devoid of oxygen, so that's why it is called deoxyribose sugar. If at the second position OH group is present, that is ribose, then it is called ribose sugar. But at the second position of carbon, if it has only hydrogen in place of OH group, then it is called deoxyribose sugar. So dear students, remember one thing, DNA has deoxyribose sugar, whereas the RNA is made up of ribose sugar. Okay, and when this ribose sugar attach with the nitrogenous base, okay, actually remember one thing, nitrogenous base always always attached to the carbon number 1. Okay, here see here, and nitrogenous base is attached. Okay, and the bond which is formed between ribose sugar and nitrogenous base is known as glycosidic bond, and glycosidic bond. So dear students, the bond which is formed between nitrogenous base and the sugar, pentose sugar, is known as N-glycosidic bond. And when this ribose sugar attach with the nitrogenous base, the formation of nucleoside occur. Okay, the sugar plus nitrogenous base is known as nucleoside. Dear students, there are different type of nucleosides. Okay, there are mainly 4 type of nucleoside. If adenine is attached to the ribose sugar, then it is known as adenosine. Okay, but if thymine is attached, then it's known as thymidine. And if it is cytosine is attached, then it is called cytidine. And if it is guanine is attached to the ribose sugar, then it's called guanosine. Okay, dear students, now we talk about nucleotides. Okay, actually previously we have talked about the nucleoside. Okay, a nucleoside is made up of nitrogenous base plus pentose sugar. But when phosphate group attached to the nucleoside, or we can say that these 3 components, nitrogenous base, sugar and phosphate group, attach with each other, then the formation of nucleotides occur. Okay, here you can see the structure. Okay, this is the pentose sugar, this is nitrogenous base, and this is the phosphate group. They attach with each other in this fashion, and the formation of nucleotide occur. Dear students, remember one thing, in nucleotide all 3 components are present, nitrogenous base plus pentose sugar plus phosphate group, then it is called nucleotide. But if the pentose sugar and nitrogenous base attach with each other, then it is called nucleoside. So nucleoside plus phosphate group is known as nucleotide. Nucleotide. Dear students, remember one thing, what is the, sometime you may be asked that what is the difference between nucleoside and what is the difference nucleoside and nucleotide. So simple difference, nucleoside has sugar plus nitrogenous base, whereas the nucleotide has sugar plus nitrogenous plus base plus phosphate group, all 3 components. Nucleoside have only 2 components. So this is the main difference between nucleotide and nucleoside. And all genetic material, DNA and RNA, they are made up of nucleotides. So here there are different type of nucleotides. If adenine, thymine, cytosine and guanine. Okay, if the different nucleotides attach, nitrogenous base attach, so different type of nucleotides are formed. Dear students, these nucleotides, in case of DNA, actually DNA has a double helical structure. So if DNA has 2 polynucleotide chains in which nitrogenous base are present, actually these nitrogenous base may be adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. So the 2 strands of the DNA are stabilized by the formation of hydrogen bonds between the complementary nitrogenous base. Okay, actually dear students, remember one thing, when we see the structure of the DNA, actually it is a double helical structure. Okay, if on one side the adenine is present, so the other side, on the other strand, it is maybe thymine, always it is thymine. A always pair with the thiamine, or guanine always pair with the cytosine. Okay, there are two hydrogen bonds present between adenine and thiamine, and ultimately there are three hydrogen bonds present between guanine and cytosine. So these hydrogen bonds stabilize the double helical structure of the DNA. So if there is a guanine, so there is other side of the on the second nucleotide chain, that may be cytosine. And this type of base pairing, that which is complementary, adenine is complementary to thiamine, guanine is complementary to cytosine, is explained by the Chargaff, and he proposed the Chargaff rules. Okay, according to the Chargaff, purines and pyrimidines base pair are present in equal amount of. Okay, yeah. Dear students, remember one thing: if purines and pyrimidines are actually purine, there are two types. Okay, when we talk about the purines are the adenine and guanine. Adenine and guanine are the purines, where the pyrimidine are thiamine and cytosine. Okay, so these purines and pyrimidines are actually present on the in the same equal amount. So we can say that if there are 100 purines, so on one strand, okay, and if there are 100 purines, so ultimately there must be 100 pyrimidines. Okay, and the formula is A plus G is equal to T plus C. So remember one thing: always adenines are is equal to thiamine and guanines are equal to cytosine, because they are complementary to each other. सो अगर एक स्टैंड पर एडेनाइन है तो दूसरे स्टैंड पर कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री क्या होंगे? थायमिन होंगे. जितना एडेनाइन का नंबर होगा उतना ही थायमिन का नंबर होगा. अगर एडेनाइन 50 है तो थायमिन भी 50 मिलेंगे, और अगर ग्वेनिन 100 है तो साइटोसिन भी 100 मिलेंगे. ओके, सो ए प्लस जी, तो टोटल कितने प्यूरिन्स हुए? 150 प्यूरिन्स हैं तो 150 ही पिरिमिडिन्स होंगे. ओके, सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, एक बात और ध्यान रखना यहाँ पर कि जितने एडेनाइन हैं उतने ग्वेनिन होना जरूरी नहीं है, बट हियर जितने एडेनाइन होंगे उतने ही थायमिन होंगे, जितने ग्वेनिन होंगे उतने ही साइटोनिन होंगे. सो जितने प्यूरिन्स होंगे उतने ही पिरामिडिन्स मिलेंगे आपको. दिस इज द चार्गफ रूल. सो प्लीज रिमेंबर द चार्गफ रूल. इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड समटाइम देयर मे बी a numerical question asked based on चार्गफ रूल. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, जो डीएनए का जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो सबसे पहले वाटसन और फ्रांसिस क्रिक, जेम्स वाटसन एंड फ्रांसिस क्रिक ने प्रपोज किया था, और दे प्रपोज द डबल हेलिकल मॉडल ऑफ द डीएनए. ओके, एक्चुअली जो इनका जो डबल हेलिकल मॉडल था वो जो फ्रेडरिक मिशनर था उसका एक एक्सरे क्रिस्टलोग्राफी टेक्निक जो थी उसके ऊपर बेस्ड था. ओके, एंड according to them, actually it is a double helical structure and it is made up of deoxyribonucleotides. Okay, or we can say that polynucleotides. Dear students, the length of the DNA is different in different organisms. In some organisms they have less number of nucleotides. Some organisms DNA has a more number of nucleotides. So when we take some examples here, there is a bacteriophage 174. It has 5,386 nucleotides. Okay, there is another example. There is a bacteriophage lambda. It has near about 48,502 base pair. Okay, in E. coli the number of base pairs, actually number of base pair, here the base pair word is used to represent the number of nucleotides. Okay, see, if one nucleotide is present then it is called one base pair. If it is 10 nucleotides then it's called 10 base pair. Simple. So in E. coli it has 4.6 into 10 की power 6 base pair, whereas in humans haploid DNA, see haploid, actually we all know that humans have 46 chromosome. Okay, yani simply we can say that 23 pairs of chromosome. Okay, so in a haploid state, okay, it is 2n condition. For haploid we represent n. So in n condition they have only 3 chromosomes. Okay, so 23 chromosomes of the humans has 3.3 into 10 की power 9 base pair. So ultimately, so diploid continent, then 23 plus 23 has 6.6 into 10 की power 9 base pairs of the nucleotides. Okay, so complete genome यानी कि diploid continent 46 chromosome has base pair 6.6 into 10 की power 9 base pair, whereas the haploid content of DNA, we can say that 23 chromosome has 3.3 into 10 की power 9 base pairs. Dear students, when we see the structure of the DNA, or we can say that the double helical structure of the DNA, actually it is made up of 2 polynucleotide chains. Okay, it is made up of 2 polynucleotide chains, and its backbone is mainly made up of sugar and phosphate group. Okay, and the 2 chains are actually anti-parallel to each other. One has 5' to 3' orientation or polarity, and the other has 3' to 5' polarity. Okay, and these 2 strands are paired with each other through hydrogen bonds. We already discussed that. If on a first strand adenine is present, so second strand has its complementary thymine, and it is stabilized by 2 hydrogen bonds. But if on the first strand there is a cytosine, then the second strand has guanine, which is complementary to cytosine. Okay, and if it has guanine, then it is a cytosine, or if it is a thymine, it is an adenine. We can see simply this. Okay, dear students, I remember one thing, always purines comes opposite to pyrimidine. So we can say the adenine comes opposite to thymine, or guanine comes opposite to cytosine. Okay, and these 2 chains are actually coiled in right-handed fashion, and the pitch, or we can say the length of a single turn is 34 angstrom, or we can say the 3.4 nanometer. And in each turn there are 10 base pairs or 10 nucleotides, and the distance between 2 nucleotides is 3.4 angstrom, or we can say that 0.34 nanometer. Okay, we can see this simply the diagram here. The diameter is near about 20 angstrom. Okay, and this is a single turn, this one is a single turn. Okay, and these are nucleotides, and this is the distance between 2 nucleotides. That is the distance between 2 nucleotides is 0.34 nanometer. Okay, 0.34 nanometer. Okay, whereas the length of a single turn is 3.4 nanometer. Okay, so dear students, there are 10 nitrogenous base in a single turn. Okay, if it is on one strand there is adenine, so another strand has thymine. Okay, if it is one strand has guanine, then other strand has cytosine. If one strand has thymine, then another strand has adenine, and if one has the cytosine, then another strand has guanine. So adenine is stabilized by is complementary to thymine, and it has formed 2 hydrogen bonds, whereas the guanine form 3 hydrogen bonds with cytosine, and these hydrogen bonds stabilize the double helical structure, or we can say the 2 polynucleotide chains. Okay, and if one has 3' end, then other has 5' end, and one has 5' end, and other has 3' end. So those 2 strands here we can say that 3' to 5', and 5' to 3'. Okay, so these two strands are mainly anti-parallel to each other. Okay, here you can see the structure. This is the backbone. Okay, this one is the backbone of the polynucleotide chain. Okay, this polynucleotide chain has phosphate group, sugar, phosphate group, sugar, phosphate group, sugar, phosphate group, sugar. Okay, ultimately, and here we can see that, and nitrogenous base are attached to each. This is thiamine, so its complementary will be adenine. So these two pair with each other, or we can just stabilize with each other through hydrogen bonds. Okay, here simple. The second, you can see also see the second polynucleotide chain. Here is phosphate group, sugar, phosphate group, sugar. So backbone of the nucleotide is made up of sugar and phosphate group. Okay, see, this is the more elaborated structure. Here you can see the 3' end to 5' and 5' to 3' end. Okay, because here the carbon number third is present. Okay, you can see the ribose sugar, it has carbon number 3 on this side, and this side has carbon number 5. But here you can see that this one is carbon number 5, and here this is carbon number 3. Okay, when we see the ribose sugar, this is the ribose sugar. Okay, and this one is also ribose sugar. Here the orientation of ribose sugar is different on both sides. In this side, carbon number 5 is always come towards this side, and carbon number 3 is comes towards this side. But in this case, in this side, okay, here came the carbon number 5, and here in this side came carbon number 3. So that's why the orientation of the two polynucleotide chain is different. So one strand has a polarity from 3' to 5', and second strand has polarity from 5' to 3' due to anti-parallel polynucleotide chains. Okay, and this polarity mainly depend upon the on which side the of a phosphate group, the carbons of the phosphate group are present. Okay, so dear students, when we see that in the human genome has near about 6.6 into 10 to the power 9 base pair, so we can figure out the distance of length of the DNA of human DNA. Actually, we have already discussed that when we see the structure of the DNA, the distance between two nucleotides is 0.34 nanometer. Okay, and 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So the distance between two nucleotides is 0.34 into 10 to the power 9 meter, and the human DNA has near about 6.6 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs or nucleotides. So when we multiply this 6.6 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs with the distance between two nucleotides, that is 0.34 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter, the length of DNA came is 2.2 meter. So dear students, remember one thing: in a single cell of human, in the single cell of human, nucleus has 2.2 meter long DNA, and this 2.2 meter long DNA is fit in very small size nucleus. Okay, that may have size of 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, 10 to the power 6 micrometer, and by highly coiled, because that DNA is highly coiled, so that's why it is able to fit in that small size DNA. Similarly, when we see the length of E. coli DNA, that came to near about 1.34 mm. Okay, because the E. coli has 4 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs. Okay, and by using this we can figure out the distance between distance or length of a DNA in the E. coli, and similarly in other organisms also. So dear students, there are different type of DNA also present. Okay, there are bDNA, zDNA, aDNA, cDNA, and dDNA. Dear students, bDNA, the first one, bDNA is present in mostly prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, other DNA, zDNA, aDNA, cDNA, and dDNA, they are unstable. They are all unstable. They are not present in any living cells. Okay, they are mainly synthesized artificially. Only bDNA is present. Actually, it is very stable and it is physiologically active, so it is mainly present in almost of all living organisms. Okay, we have already see the structure of the bDNA, that it has a single turn of the DNA has 34 angstrom, diameter is 20 angstrom, and single turn has 10 base pairs, or distance between two nucleotide is 3.4 angstrom. Okay, so we have already discussed all these things. So bDNA is the most stable DNA, which is mainly found in all living organisms. Either it is prokaryote or it is eukaryote. Other forms are mainly unstable. Remember one thing: bDNA is right-handed. Only zDNA is left-handed. Sometimes they ask which DNA is left-handed helix structure. That is zDNA, and which is stable, then you called bDNA. Okay, and sometimes it is also which DNA has the high more diameter. Okay, that A DNA has the more diameter among the all DNA, that is 26 angstrom. I hope you all understand. Thank you.